Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Caballeros Conexion, your number one connection for all things San Antonio Caballeros. In today's video, we have a very special treat for you. We have owner Steve Fohey, affectionately known as Boats, joining me tonight. So, joining me today is a very special guest on the Caballeros Conexion. He is Steve Fohey, affectionately known as Boats. So, Boats, thank you for joining me again. It's been a long time since we last spoke, and I'm
Yeah,
sure there's a lot of updates since. So, first and foremost, the big thing is we have a team name.
we have a
So,
team name, brother.
yes. So,
We're there.
the fans voted on the team name. What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on the name?
I was back and forth a little bit, but it just the history, everything like their signs read every day, right? Like I said before, their signs every day, and they're still there. And just the history with Alamo, just the whole area, and then having our name, meaning the gentleman horseman. I just it's everything now. There's so many cool things that we're gonna tie in with the Alamo. Um, I know we're not gonna have probably um, you know an outfit mascot. I want to bring in the old school Caballeros. Straight. We're gonna have horses out there. It's gonna be neat. So
Outstanding.
I like that. I'm excited. I'm excited for the name. Um, just the whole atmosphere, I guess, with gentlemen. When these guys are going to be out there in the community, and they do. They have to show who they are, and they're going to be gentlemen out there. And I think that's just the coolest thing to do. And hey, when they get on the field, they can be their warriors. They can do whatever they want on the field, and but then when you come off the field, then you're back to being a gentleman. I love it. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it it makes sense, and I think um it brings that respect for Hale, just how he's old school, and just the way he is. I think that's it's just perfect. It is.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, have you heard any positive or negative reactions from fans about the Caballeros name?
Not really negative. I just, it's more positive things. I think when people, think about it, they're like, they take a step back and they're like, all right, so you just have to look at the meaning,
Hmm.
behind it. But you can make it your own too. You can make it the new. I mean, that's what I love about this. It's the old school with the new. So it's just not going to be all old school stuff. It's going to be with the new.
Hmm.
And yeah, I love how we can tie it in the logo, the horse. Um, yeah, it's so yeah,
Excellent.
it's gonna be cool for all the generations, and yeah, I like it.
So, how do you want the team's name to be perceived by fans and to the broader community?
I don't know. I just with this being so new and all that, I guess we're just gonna start off with just the way that we're gonna be with Hale and Stan and all the coaching staff. We're gonna bring that authentic, straight up, where these guys they're not messing around. They're here for a reason. They're here to move up, or they're here just to play the game and maybe find what they're looking for after that. And that's why we're here to help them out. We're straight the players league. We're all about the players. That's all we talk about is just the players.
Yes,
That's it.
sir.
So I mean, everybody's got to understand that we're all about the players, we're all about the community in the city. That's
Yes,
it.
sir. All right. So, not only do we have a name, but we also have a logo. And as we can see here, that is the logo, and then we have the alternative logo as well too. Can you share the story behind the design of the logo?
So the design is pretty much where, like I said, old school to new, right? So we didn't want to make it too, some said this cartoonish, but then others like, you know what, I could see I can see how it blends in with everything though. And when I looked at all the other logos out there, and it just, I think it just makes sense because the way that we can design the merchandise, and it does have that kind of like the shield to it,
Hmm.
So I like that.
So, what elements or symbols of the logo are most significant to you?
I think you're talking about just our logo itself, kind of like
Yes,
where
sir.
the horse is at and
Yes,
the
sir.
name. Yeah, man, I'm so excited. Just this, I still have to work things out with the city too about horses.
Right.
But I seen so many things on horses lately in San Antonio. They're getting the boot for this and that. I'm like, all right, well, they're gonna have to work with me for a little bit. But yeah, I just thought, what cooler thing is just kind of like roll in there old school wise with your gear, your cowgirl and your cowboy,
Mhm.
outfits a little bit, and we can have a western night, and we're gonna have a military night, we're gonna have all kinds of different nights, right? So, but it's kind of cool, how we can do this. I definitely want to do like a western dress up night,
Oh, cool.
and just just get it going. I don't know. It's one of those things, Reed, where like you build something and you're hoping the community will like it. I always take feedback. That's all you can do.
Yes, sir. How did you go about selecting the designers or the design for the logo? Was there like a panel of people that came up with it, or?
We let them roll with it. Yeah, we just let the team roll with it. I was just like, just throw me something, and then I think this last one, I was like, you know what? I could see that on how we could do, different things. It was funny though. My wife brought up an old school, where we had the horse with a stick and like a little seat on it, and then we're going down the road with that. I mean, that is so old school, and she brought that up. I was like, I could see that. I could see kids doing that. Just bringing, you see it now, Ree, where a lot of people keep talking about old school, bringing old school back.
Hmm.
What I mean? Get off your phones, get going outside, get going, and and it's like the old school toys. Are the old school toys going to come back and stuff? Yeah, I thought that was neat with the horse and the stick and having kids just, well, they may whack each other. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Nice.
It's a weapon. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I heard you mention earlier about a mascot. So
yeah.
was there any plans at all for having a team mascot? And if so, I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
I just think the mascot is just all kinds of diversity and men and women dressed up as the Caballeros, old school, horse riders, or however you want to look at it when you look it up. Like I said, you can make it your own. I like that. I just like this whole feeling with it. We get so driven in the work and businesses, and we don't take time out for ourselves and take a break. Focus on mental health. I like how the NFL is finally focused on mental health. Read, it's about
Hmm.
time. Somebody start talking about it. I like that, and I think that just kind of like being on a horse with your gear smelling like leather, smelling nature. You just kind of take a time out, So, and that's why I like this painting behind me. It reminds me of that, like when you're in the hustle and bustle, you're in the city, grinding it out, trying to do your best you can, but then that guy on that horse is he's in the city, but he's away from it, just taking a breather, and I like that.
All right, so we'll transition into camp invites. Now, the team's social media page has been ablaze with announcements of players being invited to camp. To date, by my count, I think I counted 60 players, or I think there's not 61. There was
Yeah,
announced today invited, and I've noticed several local players on that list.
yeah.
So what are you most excited about seeing all these players coming to camp for a chance to make the team?
I'd take him off. I could, right? I really would. My heart goes out. We got to staff it up a little bit higher just because life happens,
Yeah.
and maybe something happens where these guys can't make it in next year. So we got to do what we need to do and make sure we do have a proper roster and all that. But sitting back and just watching Stan and Hale do their thing, I just kind of like, I feel like Mike Leach, where I can just ramble and just talk about the craziest stuff ever, because then I got this crew behind me that are just kicking ass, and
Hmm.
they're putting these guys out. I'm like, all right, we'll see where this goes. I was just like, it's just so cool and exciting. You know, I feel like I can honestly, probably get up to, North North California in the redwoods and maybe look for Bigfoot for Mike Leach. Just knock it out. I know he's a big Bigfoot fan, so we'll do
Ah,
that. But that's just how I feel like these guys have the helm, Reed, and it was all about, we go back to the military days where you feel like you're properly relieved, or
mhm.
someone's got the watch, and you feel happy with whoever's got the watch that you feel comfortable with, and these guys have the watch, and they're always looking. Stan's always on videos. He's always cracking it, man. He's just all the time. He's just looking for people now. Now the word's finally getting out, and we're receiving a lot of calls now.
Excellent.
And I've, I was hopeful and humble that this was going to happen this way, and so far so good. Yeah.
Excellent. So we're going to zoom out a little bit and look at the IFA as a whole, overall. Now, they just recently announced that there is a player draft
Hmm.
pool coming up in October. It's being held in, I think, DeSoto
Yeah.
School in Dallas. And then, of course, we have the IFA draft, which is in Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, and that's in March.
Yep.
So, how are you and the team approaching this draft and the player draft pool to strengthen the team?
I think it's just something that the Jason wanted to throw out. He just like he wanted to do the draft, and I fully support him, and we're gonna go in there, and we're gonna pick the guys, and it'll be cool. Because then you can trade and you can do all kinds of cool things, later on down the road. We gotta make this fun. We really, there's so much serious into startups. You
Hmm.
every day it's something like but we have to make it fun and get people going, and I think the draft is a good thing, and well, like I said, you just got walk it for the first year and then and tweak it, and just see how it goes. So I think it's just so cool that we can get international guys on the team and stuff like that. That's just yeah, I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, what types, like what type of character players are you prioritizing in this process?
Well, Reed, I'm out there, man. So I don't know what to tell you. You could go up to me and be like, "Hey, what's that guy's problem? I don't like him." I was like, "Well, I love him. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I want these guys to be able to just do what they want to do when it comes to like, hey, this is my time where I get to promote myself. All straight up serious though about when we're talking about promoting. When you get on that field, you better represent. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, there's no showboating or anything like that. Just get it done and then promote yourself that way and see how it all unfolds. I like this whole business side that I'm going to tie it to help these guys out. There's so many things going on with this, the NIL rules and all this other stuff. There's a lot of talk about college ball right now, which is
Hmm.
we'll see where this goes. So there's a lot of things going on with different leagues, and
Sure.
um, I'm just super excited that these guys at least they can come in and be a part of the old school air raid offense. Just Hale's demeanor. I keep
Hmm.
talking about his demeanor. It's just I'll never forget it, Reed. I just straight up when we're all done with the first meeting at UIW, Hale went right to my son. He's like, let's go walk to school. Let's go check it out. It's just you can't find that these days because all these coaches are so damn busy with it's a business, right? They're so busy, busy, busy. You get with Hale, you get with somebody where they're storytellers. they'll talk all day long, and but it's good talk. It's
Mm-hmm.
football talk. It's journeys. It's, I was talking to Hale about um, whatever happened to the old school ways where you go to brainstorm and you take a road trip. I still do it. With everything going on with this football league, I probably put on at least 20,000 miles easy in the
Jeez.
last 2 months. Reed, just getting it, just grinding it out, traveling everywhere a little bit. But it's just that it goes back to that whole road trip thing. And I love when Hale brought that up. I was like, okay, I could see you and Mike Leach just going down the road talking football, and you just didn't even realize that you went past the other state. You're just,
Right.
and but that's what I love about this. It's just old school, straight up. It makes you feel, alive. For me, it makes me feel alive again. Where I start getting excited about football again. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
yeah, straight up.
Sir.
You gotta
Good
bear
to
with me, Reed. Y'all get going on tangents, man. You just gotta stop me, all right? Just yell at
I
me.
was saying is that it's good to have that established coaching staff that we have, especially a
Oh,
new team, a new league, because it does bring a sense of credibility and legitimacy when you have such high
yeah,
caliber and uh, highly credible coaches. So I think what you're doing here, building this team the way that you are, I think you're doing it the right way. And then, maybe 5, 6 years down the road, once the league is firmly established,
yes,
then we can start maybe experimenting with getting younger coaches and giving them
yeah.
a chance to develop. But yeah, I think we're hitting the ground running pretty well.
I like it, Reed. I hope this is the league that kind of goes into like the minors for baseball as was done. I just think that if this league is going to be the way it is and move forward, it's going to have to be that old coaching staff
Hmm.
that just says, you know what, it's not about money. I love this.
Right.
Obviously, it keeps me going. If I don't have coaching, I don't have a purpose. I think you're going to see a lot more old coaches, old school guys say, Fohey, you're right. It's not about money, but I miss coaching. I miss being with people. I miss watching people develop. And
Hmm.
here we go again about development league. That's who we are. And I I just, yeah, cut me off, Reed. Go to the next question.
Okay. So we'll zoom back into the team. And you mentioned before we started about merchandising and marketing. So I know there's going to be a lot of stuff behind the magic curtain that's going on. So tell me what's new and with merchandising and marketing.
I'm gonna have my own Caballeros gentleman cologne. That's it. That's
Ah,
all we're gonna have.
love it.
I thought about that last week. I was like, you know what? I gotta write this down. There's no, but just it's so funny. We're gonna get the hats and T-shirts going. With you got with the fans. Just work with me. I'm I'm so weirded out where it's Texas. I have to have a soft shirt on. I don't know what it is, Reed. It's just like I will put a shirt on, and then if it's not soft enough, I toss it. Done. It just doesn't work for me, right? So I want to get
Hmm.
proper material for the fans. I really do. I want them to feel comfortable. I know it's like to see guys and gals with gear from their teams that just they're not really. Yeah, it just doesn't feel
Right.
right, or yeah,
Hmm.
scratchy. Yeah, it's got to be a good quality. Yeah, I think it's gonna work when we get it going, and you'll start seeing them in some stores. And yeah, just be patient. We're getting rocking and rolling. Yep.
Okay. So now for merchandise, are you guys going to have your own website, or are you guys going to piggyback off of the IFA's
It'll be
website,
the
kind
only
of
way.
what the UFL does?
It'll be both. It'll be both, Reed. It'll be both. Yeah. But right now, yeah, we are working on a website,
Excellent.
for like just for the Caballeros, and then the league as well. Yep.
Okay, excellent. And then merchandise, I'm assuming, do you have a brand in mind? Are you going Under Armour? Are you doing uh,
No,
Eddie
not
Bauer.
not yet. I'm all open. Just we've been talking to several companies, and I like this where it's kind of like you don't have to go with one
Mhm.
company. I miss that about the UFC. I was so about like where the guys and gals got to use all their sponsors and all that. You could see it on the plaque before they went to battle. I thought that was super neat, and I feel like it's kind of like the same way that we can do this, where we just have mom and pops, signs up and just stuff like that. I love that, and oh, don't get me started on the food. Oh man,
So, do you have a marketing campaign in mind? How we're going to spread the word about the Caballeros in San Antonio
that's coming
and
soon.
beyond?
I'm not going to give you anything today, Reed. Nope,
Okay.
not yet.
All right. So, those are secrets to be revealed at a later date.
It'll be before. Where are we at? What date is it? 12th.
Uh,
Yeah,
12. Yes, sir.
it'll be before the end of the month's over.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Something to keep our eyes open for. So,
I'll send you a text and throw you some curveballs.
excellent.
All right.
Excellent. So, when it comes to partnerships, any headway in partnerships? Any sponsorships that you have lined up so far?
Well, and that's where my 20,000 miles comes in, right? So what I've been doing is just popping in, and I'm going back to the recon days where we scope things out, and I I've reached out to several businesses and just sharing our vision, and they're 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 thinking, and because it's so hard, right? Because like here we go, and what's going to be different from the rest? I just tell everybody straight community football. That's it. That's all it is straight community football. If if the seats aren't packed, I mean, there's no electricity for these people, for the players, for everybody, and that's where it comes down to, and that's why the partners, that's where I'm like, this is what we see. We want to get back to the community. We want to get people going. Um, like I said, there's just a proper place to spend that Saturday. That heat, you're gonna feel the heat, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
from June to July. Yeah, but yeah, I think tying in the restaurants already, there's a lot of things going on with the restaurants. They're super excited. There's been products already, made that that I tasted. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh
You
boy.
know, you go to Maria's Cafe, it's on.
Nice.
And what's the address? 1105. How you pronounce that, Reed? Not Nagalito Street.
Close enough. No, Nagalitos. Yes.
Yeah. So I bashed that one, but Maria's Cafe was something special. Um, I met the whole family. 35 years in, she got knocked a little bit from COVID. She came swinging back. The food is absolutely amazing, and just the people there, just the way that you go in there and you see the old school military stuff in there. You'll if you ever go in there, Reed, you'll actually I'm going to drag you in there. Um, just you felt that old school, and I was just like, we're this is it. This is why I wanted to do this. And when Dad just looked at me straight up and he's like, the Caballeros, that's showman respect, bud. And it was straight. It was straight. So you already felt that presence already from just right there. I can't imagine how it's going to be. When you're talking about city and community. So this is their team, Reed. It's up to them.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, do you have any special events planned for a launch or like a coming out ceremony for San Antonio?
I think we'll start with this with the Menger Bar. You're talking about a lot of history at that place already,
Mhm.
right? And what cooler way, November 11th? That's Veterans Day, brother. So
Okay.
it's yeah. Let's just say that announcement's gonna they'll be it. They'll and then we'll follow up, because we got Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I want everybody to be able to kind of like just sit back, the players, and enjoy their time with their family and whatnot. And then after that, it's grind time. It's all in, you know.
Mhm.
So it makes sense for our big announcement, November 11th. And like I said, we'll have merchandise and all that stuff, but then we'll attack it full swing again coming January. We're
Okay.
we're running. I want to say we're running out of time, Reed, but the months are just they're flying now.
They're flying
They're,
by, that's for sure.
they're flying. Yep, they're
Yes.
flying
Still have
by.
a lot of work to do and not much time to get there.
We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be fine. There's more things to iron out. Hale and Stan, they already have their players, and there's more to come with that. I'm
Mhm.
figuring out everything else for these guys. I want it to be special for them. I really do. I've had this crazy idea in the back of my head. Still don't know how the guys are going to take it, but you know, when you do private security, they kind of make you hang out for a couple weeks together in the bunks or wherever you're at, just to get a feel for that guy that you're going to go down range with. Um, I kind of want to do the same thing where I saw a company in Ohio, which I'm from. So we're going to have maybe a massive tent and have these guys in bunks and just iron out the couple weeks, and just get it. Old school. Hey, look, I don't care. The shower's outside, blah, blah. We'll just see if I can do this or not. I don't. It's just an idea. The players be like, no, I'm not going to sleep in no tent. I was like, well, you'll have AC. Well, I've seen those tents though in Iraq and Afghanistan, and some of those were better than anything. You just gotta keep the AC going.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
they're massive. So that's just something Reed them throwing out there.
Okay. So November 11th is an important date for people to mark on their calendars. All right. So
Yeah.
that's something to really look forward to.
Oh, it's gonna be just the history. Like I said, it goes back to history. It's gonna be cool. Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
All right, so we'll get into your vision and goals. So what are your primary goals for this team in its first season?
You're gonna start this with me all over again, aren't you?
Ah,
I thought you were done letting me vent and ramble and rave or whatever. Uh, the first year, my vision, I, I I would definitely say that I would want everybody from the moment we get on the field, from I would say September, that that moment that they had, it's just they will never forget it. It's going to change their lives. Um, you're going to go through bumps and bruises, and I think I'm hoping that vision comes across to everybody, the team, the players, the fans, the community, the city, all the mom and pop businesses, the big businesses, and just full circle. I just hope it was like for everybody, like hey, we. I remember when we went to the UIW and saw Hail Mummy and his team and all that stuff, the Caballeros, and man, the seats were packed and we had an awesome time. We didn't have to like the whole like the walt's gone, after the game. It didn't break the bank, but it was really cool and old school, and everybody was just kind of like they were there just to watch old school football. But these guys are badass on the field. They still got
hmm
it. Either it's not even close to semi-pro. It's legit, and these guys going full at it. just trying to get that phone call. And what cooler way that I want the players to really get this down. Your dreams are your dreams. Those are your dreams. And not everybody's going to share your dream.
Hmm.
And that's fine. Do not lose focus and don't give up. And you never know. You're rocking and rolling, say April, May, June, July, and then the NFL needs a spot. You're already there grinding it out, running routes, running the ball, making hits for the linemen, doing whatever you crazy stuff that you want to do. But people are looking at you. You receive the call. I would love the fact that that would hit that player and just said, I was a part of this and holy smokes, it worked. Either
Sure.
way, the NFL or the CFL or some other league, or guess what? Maybe that guy was just like, you know what? Hey, I played football, I had a great time, but Fohey is just all about business. That's all I talked about, networking and how to get involved with the community. And it's not about what you know; it's all who you know. It really is. It's all about who you know. And I want that. I want interns to say, you know, hey, look, I did an internship. I learned so much. I'm ready to go and maybe be a part of this team again next year.
Hmm.
Or do they move on to like a college or somewhere else and they land a gig and they're like, well, this is my resume. This is what I did. This is what I was involved with. And that's where I'll go again, read about micromanagement people. I don't want to micromanage anybody because I want them to grow. And
Hmm.
I want everybody to be able to, the players, I want the players to grow. I want the fans to grow. I want the staff to grow, the coaches to grow. And that's what my vision is. Um,
Right.
I can't really, I can rant and rave again all day long about that. I think I just gave you the short version of my vision. I hope it was all right, Reed. But, you
Yes,
know, that's
sir. Yeah, it was great.
growth, develop. No matter what happens next year, everyone develops into what they want to be in the future.
Absolutely. So, what are your long-term goals for the franchise, both on
Yeah,
and off the field?
no, I'm not going to get in that.
And not going to take the bait on that one.
People are gonna, the fans will be like, this guy's crazy. Yeah, I want to walk. I want to walk before I run. This is my problem. My family will tell you this. This is my problem. I want to walk before I read. I have to force myself to walk. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
I'm telling myself I have to walk. I have to force myself to walk. I need to get this first year and make it the way that I hope the community wants it. And like I said, I'm going to take feedback all the time, every game or anything that we do. I'll always take feedback, you know, and never knock anybody down. Um, Good or bad feedback, you got to take it. Yeah, I mean, this
Hmm.
is the bit. You're doing this. You're putting yourself out there. Everybody's putting themselves out there, you know, and I just the way that, like I said, there's signs, Reed, and I've been all about signs, and it's just every day.
Sure. So, what initiatives do you have in place, or are you planning to put in place to ensure that the fans feel connected to the team?
I think once we get cracking, um, you know, Jack Hale's wife, she's gonna have a podcast. Obviously, we're talking with you. I want those talks to become more, you know, weekly, and just rock and roll. Um, just talking to the community. Hale is a storyteller. So anywhere he goes, I told him, I was like, look, just give people a 24-hour heads up. So where you park at, they're gonna have to stay there for a couple hours and just shoot it, just get it done and blah blah blah. And you're talking there for like 3 or 4 or 5 hours before you know it, you know. And it's just that's the way he is, and that's the way he wants to do it. And I know he's super fired. He's pumped. He's fired up, and still is Stan. And those two guys are just they're ready to rock and roll. And those two guys always give back. You see where they're at right now at a high school. They're just giving back. That's all they're doing. It's and I think I would be the same way, Reed. Where no matter what, you have to have football in your life.
Hmm.
If it's the way that is for people like me, I guess. I mean, it's changed my life. It's just not. I don't look at football as a sport. I've always looked at football as a family community. It always felt that way. I was with my brothers, and that's where it was so cool to hear a lot of Spec Ops guys talk about. Most Spec Ops guys were football players. That's just because that was their first brotherhood that they tasted and they felt. And boom, you go right into football, and that's it. Straight brotherhood. And if you can't be a part of football forever, you got to find a way back. That's my advice to people. Either youth coaching or do something small. You'd be completely amazed. Um, when I went and I started coaching my son a couple years back, game changer, Reed. I was just like, I was happy, man. I was just like, watching these little dudes just blast each other. Yeah, I'd be like, oh man, I don't want to be that coach. If I get one player hurt, then everybody's gonna come after
Hmm.
me. It was stressful, man. It was stressful, but it's the fun in it. You feel that energy again. But there has to be people in the stands. There has to be people around football players that they
Yeah,
feed off each other. That's it.
absolutely, absolutely. So, Boats, don't want to keep you too long, so I know you got a lot of networking and business stuff that you got to do. So, in summation, do you have anything that you would like to say in closing?
Just no, I don't have a closing. I'll never have a closing in this. I think when like I said, when you think about something so simple with this, but it's not simple. But then when you look at it, it is simple. And when I say simple, it's because of the history, the old school coaches that are coming into this league. You will feel it, and you feel that different, that vibe, that demeanor that they bring. They bring total respect, and they bring that brotherhood, and they they don't get down. They tell stories. I love that about these coaches, these old school coaches. They tell stories. They don't get sad. They'll tell a story to get around it, and then they move forward. And I love that. And I just I can't wait for the old school, like I said, with the new school, with all the fans that come together. There's going to be so many cool things that we can do.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
just bring in the military, with all the branches. You know, we should pack that house, brother. You know, I,
Absolutely.
I'd love to be on a base and have something like this when I was in. Oh, I'd be out there all the time watching it, and yeah, it just, we're going to do cool things. We're going to, we got a lot of characters, Read. I'm gonna let them do their thing. These players are characters, man. I come off serious where I'm like, you know what, Fohey? Yeah, there's two sides of the coin with me, Reed. I'm all straight like Mike Leach on the side, but then another, you get me going on business and football, I get kind of like, driven, kind of, here we go, iron it out type deal, Belichick type deal. But yeah, there's two sides, but I think the characters that we have, I don't need to bring the fun. I'll just take the serious side and make sure these guys are happy. These guys are gonna have a ball doing this, man. And
Yeah.
local heroes, Reed. Let's talk about local heroes. I can't wait. I can't wait for somebody from San Antone on this team to represent and have people that know them. Like, dude, I remember watching him in high school. Here he is at the UIW stadium playing
Hmm.
for Hail Mummy and Stan. And I just, it's just cool. It's so
Yeah.
cool. And, you know, we could go all day about it. But the local hero, that would pump me up. If I was on this field as a local hero, you talking about goosebumps all day, Reed.
Absolutely.
I'd be
Yeah.
fired up, man. Like I don't care if my legs broke. I got to go in there. I don't care. It is what it
Yeah.
is. But the local hero stuff. Oh yeah, I want that, and I hope the youth see it, and we're gonna be in there. Hey, like I said, Hale is a storyteller, and he just walks like I do. We just walk, school to school and stuff. That's it. And
Mhm.
we're going to get in the youth programs big time. I can't wait. There's so many things going on with the 7-on-7. You got Olympic football coming up for flag football, so everybody's getting all pumped up for that. You start seeing all these leagues now, Reed. Like I
Mhm.
said, we talked
Yep.
before. I thought 7-on-7 was kind of whatever, but I get it now. It's huge. It's huge. And I told Hale, I was like, well, bro, you already have your air raid offense. Just get it going for the 7-7. He's like, yeah, that's easy. Yeah, who
Nice.
knows? So yeah, there's no closing, man. I appreciate it. Let's do this more. Like I said, I've been
Absolutely.
doing. We'll do it more,
Absolutely.
and anything you need, just let me know.
Yes,
And
sir.
fans, have the fans, email me. You guys can email me anytime with your questions or whatever. There's a couple guys that reached out earlier, and they want to get involved, and yeah, hats off. Yep.
Absolutely. It sounds good, Boats. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join me. And yeah, absolutely. We'll do this more often. Keep the Caballeros in the front of people's minds. And because, yeah, the season, March is the draft, and then the season in June. It may sound like a long ways away, but it'll be here
Man,
before you know it.
it'll be before you know it, Reed and whatnot.
Hmm.
Well, how are you doing? You doing okay?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm peachy.
You're peachy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're just hoping. I know you're hoping for, and me too. I know. Me,
I'm looking forward to the start of the season. I talked to a friend of mine, and he is very excited for the league. At first, he was like, I
yeah.
don't know, but now that the more I've talked to him about it, and with the coach and the players, 'cause I don't really follow college football that closely, so a lot of the players that we sign, I'm like, I don't know
Hmm.
them, but he follows college football pretty religiously. So what do you think about this? He's like, oh yeah, he's a legit player. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I watched him. I know him too. So now these players, he's like, yeah, this is actually starting to become pretty legit. I'm like, yeah, I
It's
think it's going to
cool,
be a
Reed, because
legit
like
league.
Hale and I love. I've been good. I've been cutting myself back from cussing. Reed. You owe me one on this one, but I get fired up real quick. Hale and I mess with each other all the time. I wanted to say it a different way, but
Mm-hmm.
he'll call me and then he'll throw something at me. I'm like, ugh. And then I'll think about it, and I'm like, well, all right, then I'll call him back, and then I'll get him pumped up about something, and then like he's like, oh, you should just see the player that we just have, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like, and then I'll sit and be like, all right, I'm just gonna drive to Austin real quick and just start talking to people. I did that. San Antonio, I'll do that. I'll just get. I mean, we just fire each other up, and I think with the caliber of the guys that they are getting, they're getting
Mm-hmm.
some freaking giants. Reed,
Yes.
I'm like, man, I'm gonna feel so small out there with these guys. I'm gonna be like, you know what? It's
Yeah.
time to stuff the boots or something. These guys are gonna be like 6'6", just giants walking around. I
Yeah. Yeah. They are
can't
some
wait. I can't wait. I do.
legitimate names.
I am so like when you talk about football with me, it's all about the line. I love the lineman. I love that battle. I always will love that battle between the line. That's what it is all about. And
Hmm.
you get me going, Reed, about just if you don't have a line, you don't have anything. That's your backbone, right? And
Absolutely.
these guys have been putting some dudes on the field. Here we go again. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see our line, man. I want that like, hey Boats, this uniform got to go. It don't fit. And just like, yeah, we'll get the people out there I'm sure we're gonna have to do some special measurements and all. I'm just stoked for it, Reed. I
Yeah,
really
me
am.
too.
You can smell it, you can feel it. It's the coaches, it's the players. Then people are gonna be like, all right, okay, I can see this working, all right, because you're gonna have all that. You're gonna have all that, like, I don't know. Everybody looks at straight up. Who's the coaching staff? Who's the players? Do they look legit? Okay, these guys are legit. Okay, we do
Mhm.
have the proper coaching staff. Okay, what's next?
Yep,
All right,
exactly.
and that's where we're at. What's next?
That's right.
And now it's the community out there grinding it, and I can't wait. I hope there's going to be a presence at the Minger Bar. That's straight history right there, bud. And you bet you're coming. You know,
Absolutely.
veteranday.com. You're coming, bud. So I can't wait. And you know
Yes,
what?
sir.
We may have some combines just to get people fired up, but I think there may be a couple more people that might come in, and
Okay.
I want to do a combine. Um, there's a couple local heroes I know out there still, and that's what this is all about. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So we'll just keep our eyes on the Facebook page and the X page for any future announcements when it comes to combines. And I'm
yeah,
assuming those will be open to the public for anybody to come and watch, right?
correct. Yeah,
Excellent.
New
Beautiful.
Brathos has been very kind to us. I think definitely we'll be there. That's our practice field, and I like that area. That area is growing. It's building, Reed. Everything's gelling, brother. When you're talking about building, the community's building. When I went down there to Alamo a couple days ago, all those roads are being redone,
Yes.
and I was just like, wow, you know. So it's really neat. Um, yeah,
All right. All right, Butch. I think we covered a lot of material. I think we had a good conversation, and we'll definitely keep the dialogue open and in the future, and keep everybody up to date on everything San Antonio Caballeros.
let's get it.
Yes, sir. So,
Have a good night, Reed. I appreciate your time,
you
bud.
too, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I'll see you soon, bud.
Yes, sir. All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye. And that was Steve Foley, owner of the San Antonio Caballeros. I want to thank him for joining me tonight in this interview. I greatly appreciate it for taking time out of his schedule to talk with me. It was a lot of good information, and as you heard, there's going to be a lot of good information that's going to be put out here in the near future. So, thanks again for Mr. Foley for joining us. And that's it. That's the video. If you found it to be entertaining and informative, please let me know by hitting that like button below. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to this channel to keep up to date on all things San Antonio Caballeros. Well, I think it's time for this caballo to be put into the corral, at least until the next video. Until then, San Antonio, montemos. Let's ride.